right, let's get right into our notes here today, guys, and start off by folding those windows shut. Simplifying radicals. Exponential form to radical form. Radical form to exponential form. And simplifying rational exponents. All right, let's go ahead and jump into our first window here and label some vocabulary we should know. Our first one is usually this is not a variable, but it'd be a number on the outside here is our index. And if there is no index, we'd assume that it's just a 2 there. And we're just looking for the square root of the radical sign here. Radical sign. And the guy inside here is the radicand. Let's go ahead and solve a few of these. Our calculator can help us with square roots and cube roots. When it comes to fourth roots, fifth roots, so on and so forth, you pretty much, I would recommend guessing and checking, trying to multiply a number by itself 4 times or by itself 5 times here, depending on the problem, and going for that route to get the solution. So our first one here is a square root, which we could use our calculator, but we probably know this one as well. The square root of 49 is 7 times 7. And so our answer here is 7. Over here, we probably aren't as familiar with what multiplied by itself 4 times is 81. But we'll give you the answer here is 3. 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27, times 3 does equal 81. So our final answer there is 3. And we could use our calculator here. There is a cube root function. We could also guess and check, and it would take a little bit longer. This guy is going to be 6 times 6 times 6. A little scary there, but let's move on. All right. And our last one, what's to multiply by itself 5 times would equal 32. And the answer for this one is going to be 2. By the time you get to here, you're 16. And then 16 times 2 gives you that 32. So our answer there is going to be 2. And let's jump into our next one. And these ones go back and forth. So you're going to see the next 2 windows are very similar to each other. Let's go ahead and open up this one and write down our kind of cheat sheet or solution of how this is going to go. Usually we are going to see numbers here. So we'll get to that in our examples and see how that will look with some numbers here. So the n is going to go into the index, and the m is going to stay an exponent. So let's go ahead. In our first one, the denominator here of the rational exponent, again, that's going to turn into the index. And then the 5 stays the exponent to the 5th power, and so on and so forth. Go ahead and try to do those next couple and then look back up. Make sure that you're moving those numbers around in the right manner. Okay, check that out. Let's get into the next one. And like I said, this is going to be very similar as before here. And now we're going to be moving that index into the denominator of the rational exponent, and the boom, there we go. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and, again, that 5 is going to jump into the denominator of the rational exponent, and the 3 kind of stays on top. I don't have a really good saying for that, but if you come up with one while we're watching this video, please raise your hand and share. If you got a good way to memorize the way these are moving around. Go ahead and finish those last 2 here and look back and check, make sure you did them correctly. And one more window to go. Double check those answers. And our last one, simplifying rational exponents. This is what our test questions are going to look more like, and we'll get more practice doing these ones here after we finish our notes. All right, here we're going to rewrite these, and then usually you need to continue simplifying. So here we go. Our first one, that 3 is going to move into the index. 125 stays there, and then to the first power, which I can write if you really want to, but that's kind of going above and beyond what we need to do. It's going to just stay 125. So we're looking for the cube root of 125. Our calculator could help us. I'm going to just kind of jump right to our answer. It would be 5 times 5 times 5. That's 5 times 5 is 25. Times 5 again will give you that 125. So our final answer for this example is 5. Okay, our next one. See if you can go ahead and move that those numbers around to rewrite it. And here we're looking for the fourth root of 16. And I think earlier we had the fifth root was 32 or what have you. Believe the answer here is 2. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16. Final answer there, 2. Try to rewrite that last one. So as we read this, the cube root of 27 squared. Woo! Okay, let's kind of break this down step by step. We are first going to find out what is the cube root of 27 if we can. And I hope you're thinking 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27. I'm going to put that in parentheses, square it, cube root. But anyways, that's going to simplify to 3 in the long run. And we still have that exponent of the 2. And we got one more step when this occurs. Okay, these other ones just had the 1, so we didn't have to do this step, or it really didn't matter. Here we are going to have to go ahead and square that to make sure we simplify it totally. We want to get rid of all the exponents. 3 times 3 is 9, and that's our final answer for our last example here today.